Well, hello, this is part 2. I'm going to start mounting the physical components in this. And they consist of the junk in this box. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull this panel up and turn it over and show you how they're going to be laid out. The first thing is, I've already drilled and measured out everything before I painted it, so I'll just put this back in. The Arduino Mega, so that is a, what does this say? Mega, come on, focus. Okay, that says Mega 2560, so I think these are release 3s, but it's an Arduino Mega. You can see the main connectors are a USB and a power connector there. There's a big array of digital inputs and outputs. We'll use most of those, and a few other things. So that will mount here. The LCD display will mount there. This is a 5-volt power supply, which I'm going to mount there. And this is an Arduino Nano, and this is going to be used for controlling expression pedals. And there's a reason for that, why we have a separate controller for the expression pedals. It's mostly about the latency in the Mega, that when I do the software, the programming requires delays in the process because of switch bounce. Those delays are a little bit nasty when it comes to doing continuous controller operation, so I'll do continuous controller MIDI signals from this Nano. The other components are the reset switch, which will be mounted here, and I have this USB panel mount jack, so that'll connect to there and get mounted here. So the other main components are these single pole, single throw momentary switches. These are cheaper ones you can get on eBay from China. The switches are actually going to be one of the most expensive components. So, I mean, roughly speaking, this is in Australian dollars. An Arduino Mega is about $20. This serial LCD, that's about $10 or $12. These are a couple of bucks each. This power regulator, what this simply does is takes the 9 volts that are input here and rectifies it. There's the bridge diode bridge rectifier, filters it, filter capacitors, and regulates it. That's a 5-volt regulator to give you 5-volt supply, mostly for driving the LCD display. But the power that comes from the Arduino, I don't know what it's rated in milliamps. It's a relatively low supply. It's for driving logic control and powering LEDs. You know, you shouldn't operate components to any great extent drawing on the power of the Arduino board. For example, this Nano is going to use the 5-volt supply from here. I think that's all it can use, and you've got to be careful with these things. They can be either 3.3 volts or 5 volts. So if they're only 3.3 and you put 5 volts in, buy another one, they'll fry. And this has a backlight. This can draw a bit of power, so that's why I have a separate power supply. Anyway, so $20 $20, $10, $12, a few bucks, $10. These switches, I can't remember what they cost, but there are 14 of them, and that's going to be one of the most expensive components for this thing. Okay, so I'll go back to my box. There are a few other physical components and brackets for fixing it to a pedal board, and here's the rear panel, which I've already cut out for the MIDI expression 6.35mm phono jacks and a power inlet. So there they are. Switching jacks, there's a reason for getting switching jacks for the expression pedal. Got two of those, and 5-pin 180-degree DIN. So there's a whole lot of DIN configurations. This is the, I don't know if this will show up here, that the 5 pins are arranged in 180 degrees around the circle. There are all sorts of 4-pin, 5-pin, 6-pin, not 180 degrees. So that's the standard for MIDI controls. I don't know why they picked these DIN plugs, because MIDI for the most part only uses these jacks 4 and 5, these tabs 4 and 5, and an earth shield for longer cable runs, which for this sort of thing, within this box you don't even need that. So it's a lot of hardware for basically a data signal, but they decided to use the 5-pin DIN, so that's what we use. And they're a pain. I don't like them. I think that's about it. I haven't... the other thing I should mention with the LEDs is these holes are drilled to 5.5mm. I'm using 5mm LEDs, and I'm not going to use any bezel. They're just going to insert straight into these holes and sit there. So save yourself time and a little bit of money. It only costs a few bucks for the plastic bezels, but I find them annoying. So I'm just going to push the LEDs straight into these holes. They'll sit there well enough. Roughly speaking, I don't know, $100 worth of components, maybe more, maybe less. But if you can build this for yourself, it's nothing compared to the outrageous amount of money people ask you to pay for MIDI controllers that tend to try and be one size fits all. So one of the benefits of doing this is that you'll get a MIDI controller custom built for what you want to do. In my case, I'm going to demonstrate this using an Atomic Amps amplifier unit, which I use, and it's very good. Okay, that's enough for now.